Find the right presents for all of the food lovers on your list, no matter what your budget. Joining us now is personal chef Bill Collins from chefbill.com. And the good thing is, if your budget is not so high, then all of these gadgets and gizmos and amazing kitchen essentials are for you.
Absolutely, because these will go from 89 cents to $25. So they can fit every budget, and these are things that you'll actually use not just occasionally, but you can use many of these every day or certainly many times a week. And that's what makes these, aside from your knives, just so important to have.
And if we got every single gimmick and different essential, I say that in quotations, that you see on television, then you wouldn't have room in your kitchen for everything.
Exactly, and I'm not big on motorized little thises or one function tools. That's why these cover so many things. These are really just perfect to have.
Wonderful. Let's start at this end, and I've seen you use almost all of these, actually.
That's the thing. I have used all of these, and that's what makes these so good for even your basic foods. It makes life simpler. This is a variation on a food processor. It's a food chopper. It's not electric. There's no cord involved. And the great thing is chopping up large amounts of garlic or nuts or something like that. And the way it works, it's just like, I call it my little lawnmower, is you just pull it, and it's got such a sharp blade. You could puree a Buick in this, and it'll be perfect for your everyday needs.
Oh, I love Buick puree.
Exactly, but it's just so great to have. And that's less than $20. The next thing is, it's so simple. When you bake cookies, it's a small metal spatula. I've seen these in plastic. It's not as effective. They bend. But when you've got cookies on the cookie sheet and a larger full-size spatula, it starts to knock into other cookies. And you figure for $3, it just does that one thing that you really need to have.
Yeah, and then the cookies smush, and then it's not a cookie, then it's just a glob of dough.
Exactly.
Cooked dough.
And that saves all the work you've done.
Yes, and I'm sure that doesn't cost much at all.
Less than $3. And now we've got two types of kitchen scissors. Either one is fine. You don't need both. And the important thing about these is they come apart like that. These aren't broken, and the reason they come apart is for cleaning, because you don't want to use the scissors that you use for everyday school projects and things around the house. And so these can be great for getting the food off the little corner bits. The next thing I use, especially in the summer, and this is called a tomato shark. And it just takes the top off of the stem end of the tomato, and also hulls strawberries, takes the top off. Great little tool to have. It's faster and easier than using a paring knife. This next thing, this is the 89-cent item. You figure, well, what would you use a piece of plastic for? This is for cleaning, for scraping those things off your pots and pans. It just makes it so much easier when you're cleaning.
Right, and it doesn't cost a lot, and it looks like nothing, but it can really save you a lot of time and frustration when you're in the kitchen cleaning.
The last thing you want to do when you get to the end of cooking, end of dinner, is I want to spend more time cleaning.
Nope.
Saves the time there. The next thing you want to have are wooden or bamboo utensils. I use both of these all the time for deglazing the pan, for cleaning things out, just stirring. It's better than hearing the metal on metal of a metal spoon in the pan. So much easier and faster.
And if you have a Teflon or the coated nonstick and you use metal, then it's just going to ruin your pan.
You've killed your pan straight away, and this is exactly what you want for the nonstick pans every time. And also, the other thing is, this is a spatula. Now, there are a lot of silicone spatulas out there. This one is a company called Chef'n, which actually also does the mini chopper. But the great thing about this is, for whatever reason, the way they've built it, cleaning out jars, cleaning out pans, this is the most effective, fastest spatula. You would think a spatula is a spatula. Heat resistance, I've got about 4 of these, and it's one of those such key essential things for the kitchen. You don't think about it when you have it, you go, wow. And again, that's $10, and that's the best $10 you can spend for your kitchen.
You can use both ends there, right? So
absolutely.
Tried and true. You know it's going to work.
Absolutely. So this is just an essential that I use all the time.
Chef secrets from Chef Bill. We've only covered about half of the items that are great gifts for the cooks and food lovers in your life. When we come back, we're going to show you even more great gift ideas for the food lover for under $25. We're back with Chef Bill from chefbill.com, and we're talking about the best gifts for the food lovers in your life, some of the kitchen must-haves that every single kitchen should have.
Absolutely. And the next round of great things we have here are thermometers. You do not need 3 thermometers, but each of these have their different roles. They're all instant read thermometers. This one is an analog one, doesn't have a battery, it's perfectly good, and you can calibrate it, check the adjustment. These two, this one is digital, so it's always perfect every time. For this one, this is a candy thermometer, and this is more specific, higher temperatures when you're doing making caramels or chocolates. So if you were to get just one, This is $10. This one is about $20, a digital one. I prefer the digital one because it's perfect every time.
And I do recall that we did a segment all about thermometers on Mass Appeal that you can look up on our website, mymassappeal.com, to get an even more in-depth description on thermometers.
Exactly. Now, the next thing we come to are microplanes. And the brand name is Microplane. There are other brands that are out there, sort of like we talk about Kleenex when we want a tissue. But these are microplanes, and because they're the ones who started it all. And the reason I have two of them, these are, one's a zester, one's a grater. What's the difference? Not too much. But the thing about the zester, doing things smaller, this one I use for Parmesan cheese, doing freshly grated Parmesan, chocolate when I want to put a little shaving of chocolate on top, and also for nutmeg. So instead of shaking it from a little jar, just a little fresh nutmeg on there, and it just comes out great for a grater. This one is a larger, this is a grater, and I use this for things like shredding carrots, also for Parmesan cheese when I want it shredded a little bit more, also for chocolate, again, the same things, but a little bit bigger. And these are really essential. The reason these are essential is they're very sharp. Other ones are sharp. These are so much sharper you get exactly what you need.
So get rid of the box grater.
Get rid of the box grater. And this is also perfect for lemon zest, orange, lime zest. That's perfect for that. And get rid of the box grater.
It's an essential. You should have it in your kitchen.
It is.
You use this every single time you cook, as well as a lot of these other essentials. But I think this is definitely something that's helpful.
And in the Knife Skills book that I wrote, I talk about you need 4½ knives. And I refer to this as the half knife. It isn't actually a knife, but when you have your things on the cutting board, you gather them up. Rather than trying to balance things on the edge of a knife and move things over, so if it's the scraps, whether you put in the trash or the compost, like the peelings, or if it's gathering up the chopped onions to throw into the pan or a bowl, it's so much faster and easier and safer than trying to drag a knife towards your hand.
Exactly.
$10, and I have it by my cutting board every time I cook.
That's true. He's not lying. I really do.
No, I'm telling the truth.
Cast iron pan. I think this looks a lot more expensive than it actually is.
It is, because I said everything here is $25 and under. This is $25. You think of a skillet, a nice skillet, a heavy-duty skillet being hundreds of dollars, and they can be. Cast irons have been around since the beginning of time, just about. And the great thing about them is they will last forever. Unlike other pans, they do need a little bit of maintenance, and all that is just keeping them a little bit oiled, called seasoning. The maintenance is so minimal, but the thing is, it gives a nice even heat, great browning. If you're making burgers or steak, they're going to come out beautifully. But especially if you're just starting out, this is a pan to have. This pan was given to me by a former colleague, and this was her mother's. And when the colleague gave that to me, she was 73 years old. This pan is 100 years old. I use it all the time.
Wow, and it's like in perfect condition.
Exactly. It's well seasoned. This is what you want to have. And it's something you will keep forever.
So a hand-me-down is even better.
Exactly, it is. And if you want to start with the hand-me-down, start it yourself, $25. You can't beat that.
Nope.
Now, usually I don't recommend knives to get for somebody else. You should buy your own. However, this is called an offset handle serrated knife. It's a bit unique in that most people don't really think about it. And this is one of the essential knives that I talked about because it's got the bigger teeth on it, and it's great for cutting bread, tomatoes, the rind off of melons. But the reason it's different is the offset handle, where you see it's up a little bit. That way you don't hit your knuckles when you're cutting, and it makes it so easy and more comfortable. If it's comfortable in your hand, you're going to use it more often.
And you use that all the time. Now, we've got about 45 seconds. We just want to get through cutting boards. A great thing to get.
Always, yep. You want to have large cutting boards. A lot of people have small little cutting boards. Food falls off. Get a good-sized cutting board.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. And from our friends at Whole Foods in Hadley, there are a couple of things here that are essential. Cocoa. Why is cocoa essential? Make hot chocolate. It's so much better. There's some terrific mixes out there, but there's nothing like mixing it up yourself. You can make it as sweet or less sweet than you want.
Good for cookies and cakes, too.
Perfect. Absolutely. But here we've got essential spices. Why would you give somebody spices and seasonings? Simply because so many people have them. They're old. 1 year, 2 year, 10 years old. You know, for $2.50 each and less, you can get them fresh and up and running, and their food's going to be even that much better. They're going to love you for it.
What a good idea. And they fit in a stocking.
Yes.
And not all spices are created equal.
There you go.
When you do a scent test, it really does matter when you get the fresh spices.
You want to go to some place that's reputable, that has good quality of seasonings, plus high turnover, that hasn't been sitting on the shelf forever.
And you know what I think? even if it's not a food lover that's on your list, get them one. Maybe they'll become a food lover because of the essential kitchen must-have that you got them.
It's going to make their cooking so much easier, and that's really what it's about. If they're going to be easier and they're going to be more confident doing it, they're going to do it more, and they're going to cook for you.
I want all of these. I want everything, Santa Claus. Thanks so much, Chef Bill, for being here. Thanks for sharing your secrets. And for a complete list of our kitchen must-haves, head to mymassappeal.com later today.